Hello again, this is Sogfrog with the fourth segment of the Fight Club tutorial. In this segment I'm going to be explaining the drop. Then I'm going to explain the three phases of play within Fight Club. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this. I expect to cover the individual phases of play in later segments in much more detail. After I explain the phases of play, we're going to take a look at a few character cards, and I'm going to explain all the icons and text that you'll find on a character card. So that being said, the card that you see in front of you right now is a drop. The drop is extremely important to this game because it sets the pace of play between players. Now in most card games that I've ever played, players are going to take turns. You may take a turn, draw some cards, expend some resources, play a card, and then initiate a battle or something like that. But within Fight Club, players don't really take individual turns. There are three phases, and during each phase all participating players are going to make actions. So that means that during our setup phase both players are making actions. During our fight phase both players are making actions. So who decides who takes actions first? Well, that's the job of the drop, or the player with the drop. If I have the drop and we're in a fight phase and I have my fight cards out, I'm going to decide who enhances their actions first. Who enhances their fight cards first. If we're in the cooldown phase and I have the drop, I'm going to decide who plays the cooldown actions first. Same thing goes with the setup phase. The person with a drop decides who plays their actions first. Now, in addition to the control aspect, the drop has 3 latent energy tokens on the face. Now, these tokens can be used just like any other latent energy for spotting requirements. You cannot use this latent energy for burn requirements. Alright, so the individual phases of play within Fight Club. First we have the setup phase. The setup phase is pretty simple. You're going to take your first setup actions. You're going to move energy tokens into your energy token pool and basically accumulate some more resources. Then you're going to have an option to play one condition, gear, setup, or setup action, or sorry, setup instant or action. And then you're going to reveal 3 fight cards. Now when we reveal these 3 fight cards, it sets us up for the next phase, which is the fight phase. And in the fight phase, both players are going to take turns enhancing their fight cards. Then they're going to determine the outcome of each fight, and then they're going to score the winning fight cards. In the cooldown phase, both players are going to have an opportunity to play cooldown actions. Then they're going to discard down to their hold number, and then after they discard, they're going to draw up to the number that's on their character card next to hand. Last but not least, players are going to change control of the drop. So now that we've talked about, now that we've gone over a real basic explanation of the phases, let's look at a character card. Alright, this is Rambo, and if you look at the top of Rambo's card, you'll see 2 fist icons. These icons up here are called the center skirmish bonuses, and both of these are red. Now these are used with fight cards, so let's take a look at a fight card. A fight card, or this fight card, has 3 skirmish tabs up at the top. The center skirmish tab is what works with these center skirmish bonuses. So each one of these bonuses is worth a +1 for a point. So since Rambo has 2 red center skirmish bonuses, and this is a red center skirmish tab, we'll go from 4 up to 6. So 4 +1 +1. That's how that works. Now, let's say we're using this fight card. This fight card has an orange center skirmish tab, so Rambo can't use these bonuses with this fight card. And much the same with this fight card right here. The center skirmish tab on this fight card is purple, and Rambo's center skirmish bonuses are red, so he does not get the bonus. Alright, and this icon, or this energy token over here, is latent energy. Just like all latent energy, you can use it for spotting costs. And then we move down here. Every character has a life total. The life total basically marks how much damage he can take before he dies, or before you lose the game. This hand size here sets your initial hand size. You must have 5 cards at the start of the game, and at the end of each turn you must draw up to 5 cards. This hold this hold number is specific because during the cooldown phase you're going to discard before you draw, and using Rambo you must discard down to at least 1 card before you draw up to your hand size of 5. So that means that if I really want to hold on to a key card, I'm able to do that. I'm able to hold on to one of those, and then I draw up to my 5 hand size. Now imagine this number was 0. That would mean that I would have to get rid of every single card in my hand before I drew up. I wouldn't be able to save any of those key cards. Next you see game text. The game text is split up like so. First in the bold you have the phase or step that an action occurs and the cost. Right here you see first setup. This is when this action takes place. There is no cost because during the first setup you simply add 3 energy tokens, 1 blue and 2 green. This next action down here we're going to take advantage of, or we're going to use during the score step of the fight phase. And the cost for this action is to burn 1 green token and to discard 3 cards. Once this is done, I can use the action. And this says if opponent won this fight, opponent exhausts fight card instead of scoring it. You may play this action only once per turn. Now this is extremely beneficial because you're going to be robbing your opponent from his basically the damage that he's scoring against you. At least one of those fight cards a turn. So this is pretty beneficial. Now if you look at Mr. Blonde, he's another character card. You see that he also has center skirmish bonuses, except for he has 2 orange and 1 purple. So he now is able to interact with 2 different colors of fight cards. He gives a +2 bonus to orange center skirmish tabs, and he gives a +1 to purple center skirmish tabs. Also you see that he has a different action down here. His main action takes place during the setup phase, and the cost for this is to burn 2 colorless. And what he does is he draws 3 and then shuffles 3 cards from his hand back into the draw stack. So he has a card drawing ability. Every character has something different down here, but every character also has this first setup action to accumulate resources. So that pretty much covers characters, the drop, and the phases.